will get on your leg and like hump on your leg, like to jack itself off. Over the line!
I will never get tired of that. Are we live? Am I froze? Is it me? Do I got South Florida internet right now?
There we go.
Am I on that Willie Patterson shit, or is it the whole thing? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Well, we are 2/3 of the Bearded Bastards here, but we've made up for it with a +2 here. Who do we have joining us this week, Uncle Traz?
We have the legendary Pussy Poppin' Wayne Palmer.
Pussy Poppin' Palmer.
The one and only Mikey Lightning.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Wayne's got to get his angles right, Mr. Photographer over there. We live from the Palmer estate.
Yes, we are.
Outstanding.
$50 question. Who gave me that nickname?
I actually am not certain where that originated from.
Pondo.
I'm going to say John Thorne.
Pondo.
Madman Pondo. No shit.
Pondo.
Nice.
So we'll start with Mikey. What have you been up to, man?
Just working a lot.
How's the baby?
Chunky. Chunky. Yeah, she's doing real good now.
Nice.
Good.
Yes, sign guy. Wayne Palmer is on the show tonight.
No, I can get the comments on here. I was in the private chat thing on there.
Ah.
Yeah, sign guy. The alumni group is growing.
Before we really get into everything, just a condolences kind of thing to Sam from Pillow Talk, whose father passed away. I believe it was last night. Yeah,
that's tough.
So we over here thinking about you guys. So, but at any rate, welcome to the shit show, people.
Yeah, we are. We're Sans Bruiser. What's going on there?
Kids probably got hockey practice.
I was gonna say it's got to be hockey practice. If not, we'll blame it on hockey practice.
We will. That'll always be the excuse. Hockey practice. Oh, and for anybody interested, we still have these bad boys. $5 plus shipping.
$5 holla.
Yes, condolences to her and her family. So what have you guys been up to?
Bro, living at work.
Talking to the walls for a year.
Yeah, how has the pandemic been for you, Wayne? Like, what's life been like?
Well, I'm getting out more.
That's good.
I got both of my shots and fully vaccinated. I went out to a restaurant in Columbiana yesterday, and I'm heading out to a wrestling show in West Virginia next month. I'm going to Iowa in July. I'm going to Albany in August, and maybe Las Vegas in September.
Look at you got more bookings than most people I know.
Making towns.
Right? Where are you staying at, Wayne? Are you in Cleveland?
I live in Northfield.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no shit. I used to deliver a paper route. I was on Northfield for like 2 years, like at 1 a.m. every day.
I have actually
I deliver out that way.
Do you? I was gonna say, I think in the entire time that I've been driving, I think I've ran across Mikey one time, and I didn't even realize it was him. I think he messaged me.
Oh yeah, that was not too long ago down in Amherst
Yeah.
area.
He's like, "Are you in a red truck?" And I was like, "That's when I was working with the old company." And the truck I had with the old company was you couldn't miss it. It was about as red as the wall behind Bill right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've changed from the living room studio to the bedroom studio this week.
Acoustics.
Yeah, right. Some guy said he's blaming the absence of Bruiser on Ron Reed. He finally caught up with Bruiser.
Yeah, I think when that happened, I had just looked out the window and I saw a bald head and a fiery red beard.
He's like, "Are you going down 113 right now?" Yeah. Now you had was it you that was saying, or somebody was telling me at one point during all this bullshit, you actually, some of your crew had to have police escorts to stores so that people wouldn't ransack the trucks for bread.
Yeah, there's some of them had to have escorts from other guys in the company.
Jesus criminy.
So I
it was
haven't
ridiculous.
haven't had the chance to watch NXT from Tuesday yet. I've actually got it on the background now, but it is a strange connection here. Seeing, spoiler if anybody didn't see, Cross got the title back, but it's obviously Scarlett standing right next to her. I wouldn't have actually probably met or had the chance to work with her had it not been for Mike's dad.
Really?
Well, yeah, that match where she was managing Blaze, where we ended up being in the paper on my birthday in 2009, I want to say. JT's would have brought her in there, and then several other shows that she was going to.
That's right, because she was.
Was that at Turner's?
There was the one at the LCCC, and then there was a Lamont Traxler combination show out in Campbell that she was at when they were doing the MCW, UWC, UCW, whatever it was. She had, and there was a few shows that he brought her to.
I don't know if you've caught on if you're watching it or not, but I could not get past the fact that I don't know if it was her contacts, but every time they did a close-up shot on her, her eyes were.
I think it's the contacts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what it is. You could take her eyes all the way out. I don't give a shit. Wouldn't stop me.
Mike, if you've I know you did the spot with what was it, the Munchies for your dad's memorial show. What have you had any thoughts about getting back into it, or?
I have, but I can't for medical purposes.
Oh, fair enough.
So, as much as I would like to, yeah, I have problems with real bad migraines and stuff like that I'm trying to get figured out. And I'd rather just get that figured out instead of making things worse.
Right. Yes,
do you have any interest in reffing, if you can get that regulated, or are you more interested in working or not working? Like no in between?
I haven't really thought about that. I wouldn't mind doing the roughing. I mean, there's really nothing. Well, I can't say there's nothing to it, but yeah, there'd be like no taking bumps or nothing like that.
It's not as physically demanding.
Right. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing roughing.
Some guy says Mike has to live through Hannah now. Is she working at all, or?
I don't I wouldn't be able to answer that because I don't know.
Ah, okay.
I know it was questionable when the last time that she worked, she broke a couple ribs,
Oh,
so she was having a real hard time with that.
right.
So
Fair enough. So, what about you, Wayne? Are you excited to get out and start doing photos for wrestling promotions?
Yes, I am. I think AIW is running at the end of the month. I
Yeah, so
think,
end of April, I think.
and I think I'll go. I might do one of their shows. I have friends coming in for the Bigfoot Festival in at Salt Fork. They live in North
Bigfoot
Carolina.
Festival.
The Bigfoot Festival,
That sounds
Sasquatch.
fun. Yeah, no, I'm down with the Squatch.
Now,
With
there's
the
been a lot
squad.
of sightings at Salt Fork
Yeah.
uh, that they can't explain.
So how long is this like a 2 or 3 day festival or week-long thing, or what's like the event set up like?
Well, it used to be for a couple days, but since the pandemic, they're only having it for one day, and it's like a VIP only. Before, they used to have a regular festival, and they had gimmick tables and they had speakers,
Hmm.
but they've cut that down this year because of the pandemic.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Wayne, if you ain't got anything going on this weekend, um, the you know who the LSDs are. They talked the old man into coming out and working their show, working a show out in Sandusky. It's the Hookah Connection is the shop that they work at. It's
Oh,
their
okay.
it's their customer appreciation day, but they've got let's see, what do they got here? Saturday, April 17th, high noon. Get it? High noon to 9 p.m. They got glass blowing comedy. They got uh, Tony Watson is actually going to be doing stand up. Uh, Vendors and free food plus the wrestling. So there's a chance to get some photography in. I'm not sure what time the wrestling show starts. I think they said that's going to actually start probably closer to noon.
I got talked into going a show in West Virginia on May 20th. I think Hank is supposed to be announcing, and
Hank
uh,
Hudson.
and Carnage is supposed to come and wrestle. He's been in the business. I met him back in 2007, and he's wrestled for GMO, and he's wrestled. Oh, where the hell else did I see him? Uh, at the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame.
But see, here's the real question, Wayne. On these cruises and stuff that you go on, how many of the glow girls have you laid pipe to?
No comment.
Yeah, can neither confirm nor deny. You want that number to continue growing, Traz.
Is there a secret photo stash that we're not able to get a hold of?
That's content for the Patreon show.
We've actually we were talking to Jared about even Buddy a little. I was talking to Buddy about it. Trying to get out to Vegas for Cauliflower. I've never been and I want to go.
What time of year do they usually
Same.
do that, Wayne?
It's usually the last week in April, but because of the pandemic and all the cancellations, tentatively it's for September, I think 16th and 17th. Don't quote me on the dates. Brian Blair hasn't talked to the hotel yet. He's the president of Cauliflower. So there's no confirmation as of yet. But there's a good chance it's going to go.
I'll have
Nice.
to stay in contact with you about that because I've never been either. I'd love to go.
Oh, you'd love
But
it. A lot of the old timers come in, and you never know who you're going to see.
oh yeah, no, it's everyone always posts pictures. It always looks like a blast.
Well, it's
April,
it's in Las Vegas for crying out
right? I've never
loud.
been to Vegas either, so kill two birds with one stone. I might not make it back.
Right. I just want to go and gamble and get a picture with Rick Lieb.
Yeah, he'll be wearing his belt. Don't worry.
a few years ago when The Godfather was manager of a strip joint, we used to go as a group.
Cheetahs.
We used to go to Cheetahs. There's pictures of me with Scott Romer and Chaz and Rick Lee.
Yes, Jared says I can't recommend CAC enough.
Yes.
Mikey, you going with us? We're going to go to Vegas for the CACs one year.
I'm okay.
Well, you
I
know,
go.
they give you discounts on the rooms. Rooms are only $25, $35 a night.
Oh, we could double stack, triple stack in those.
Right.
Plus they've got what they call a resort fee, which they tack on now. But everybody, there's a TGI Fridays at the casino, and that's where everybody meets and drinks, and they drink till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Is that the gimmick spot there?
Yes.
Outstanding. This year, honestly, would probably be the perfect year to go because end of April is like impossible for me to get time off of work where I'm at now. But September, though, that is incredibly fucking doable.
Well, I'll really look into it. The only stip you can go as a guest. If Jared is going, you could be a guest with Jared, or joining a membership. I think it's only $25, $35 to join.
That's nothing.
Right.
And the money goes. It's actually a benevolent society. They give money to wrestlers that are down and out, who need bills being paid or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen they do stuff for like medical bills and like surgeries and stuff people need. It's pretty cool.
I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody that's never done it.
Yeah, I've wanted to go, and that's definitely on the bucket list.
Same.
So,
Yeah. Same for me.
the LSDs just messaged me. He said there will be raffles, drawings, music, live comedy, and wrestling. Major raffle at 420. 420. There will be. He said there will be like 2 matches every hour, and then in between that's music and comedy, whatever. About 7 to 8 total matches, and they are crowning the. How the hell did he say it? We are crowning the 420 Hookah Connection champion in the Battle of the Bong.
The Battle of the Bong.
You know, I was just thinking it's got to be really tough for the people in the business, just staying in shape. When
I haven't been doing the best job of that.
Either have I.
I've actually gotten back on that horse in the last probably about 2 weeks, and last night because I've changed my diet and everything. Last night, like if anybody saw my Instagram video, thank God I was the only one in the gym because I was every time I moved a weight or anything, I was ripping ass.
Well, the only thing I'm really happy is that AEW took a lot of the people I've seen in the business and giving them a chance to make some money.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, as Ole Anderson says, the only reason he went into wrestling was to make money. And that's.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of it being made before there was a second major company to work for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk about that later on the show, but we almost had a show set up, and I was actually going to contact you about coming in and doing the photos for that, but that kind of failed.
Are we going into that tonight, or is that another time?
Yeah, we'll go into it tonight. Rob, if you missed Rob's show last night, Rob, as the kids would say, blew a gasket on his on essentially his fuck you guy for the show. But
I missed that.
I'll get into that later. Lemmy is actually going to send me the card. That's why they're not in the. That's why you're not seeing it in the comments, Jim. He's direct messaging me, so I'll actually have a card for that show for this weekend.
I think Jim's point is if he's direct messaging you, he can't be watching the show.
I would imagine he's probably at the training center right now.
Yeah, probably. Oh man, that Killian Dane crossbody is so fucking mean.
I caught a little bit of it last night, and it was all right. That was the first time I actually sat down. Is Poppy being an asshole?
I think somebody was actually knocking on the door. Let's go investigate.
Go for it.
Or maybe, I don't know, I got my earbuds in. Maybe it was some man upstairs walking and made a mark, but something's going on. We're going to do it live.
But yeah, last night was the first night I actually sat down and willingly just watched wrestling on TV.
There's still some good stuff out there, man.
Nowadays to sit down and actually watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, it goes on Akron. I bought my car here, and you should too.
Oh, we're doing that again.
Yeah, I've really kind of just been watching a little bit of AEW every now and then, but for the most part, by the time I get home and get cleaned up and have dinner and I'm getting ready to go to the gym and stuff like that, so I don't really. Plus, I'm fighting with a 6-year-old for TV time, so.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the card for Saturday: Casey Carrington versus Gavin, Lemmy versus Cavell versus Bryson, myself versus JD Smooth versus Lethal, in a menage a trois. Ashton.
You say myself? Are you referring to yourself, yes. Traz, or him himself?
Yeah, they talked me into coming out and working a match.
Nice. You said this is this weekend?
Yeah.
JD Smooth was fun to work with.
JD is.
You don't got to do much.
No, that's what I said. I was I'm breaking the kayfabe, but I was if I'm working Lethal, I'll let him be heel, and then we'll just it'll be an easy night. We're working for potheads, so.
Well, and there'll probably be a lot of non-wrestling fans there, and they pop for fucking everything, punch and kick shit.
Right. What? Speaking of, because you were living up in Michigan for a while, Mikey. What was the shit show up there?
I mean, the only shows that I went to were XICW for Malcolm. That was it.
Oh, okay. Who's your uncle?
No, Malcolm.
Oh, Malcolm. I was like...
I thought you said my uncle, too. I was like, oh, breaking news.
Oh, no, Malcolm. Sorry.
Dude, the best was seeing him at Turner's put Basket Nazi in the shopping cart and push him off the stage on the ramp and dead into the ring. Wayne knows what. Wayne, you may have been there to take pictures for that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the match when he went against New Jack and Pondo, the Basket Nazi.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pondo got hurt real bad in Tampa. I guess.
Oh, is that? Well, yeah, Matt dived 4 stories off a building and landed on Pondo on a table, I guess.
Busted 2 of his ribs and punctured his lung.
Ooh.
Yeah, the table didn't break.
Well, it sort of did, but it broke, but went this way. So Justice landed on Pondo, and Pondo just kind of the table broke, but Pondo just kind of slid off of it and hit the ground.
Matt get fucked up too, or just Pondo?
No, he didn't. That was a clean hit. I mean, he landed flat on Pondo.
Oh yeah. Justice landed on him, but the way Pondo landed was kind of sick when they came off the table.
Well, that could be true.
But you know what? speaking of the whole Tampa thing, it was really cool to see like just a lot of guys, especially from this area, like down there and just putting on a show. You know, between the AIW guys, um, Ricky, is this the? No, that's not the one. um, but between seeing Ricky and 440 and the AIW guys and some of the other like Happy Hour, the guys, it was really cool to see those guys down there, like living out the WrestleMania weekend dream.
Well, another guy
Right.
who was alumni of our area, Lamont, took a show from Dallas to Tampa.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
The
I think
Yeah.
DFW.
one of the guys, Camacho, he moved to Oklahoma City. He's one of Lamont's wrestlers in
Yeah,
We
Dallas.
had
actually, I think he's in Texas now. When he was on, wasn't he in Texas or he's still in Oklahoma?
no,
I
he had moved down to Texas when he was on. He's down like I want to say like Dallas area.
Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah.
He wrestles as Lou Gotti or Lou Starrett. I ran
Yeah.
Yeah,
into
Lamont does. Mhm.
I ran into him at the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame 2 years
Oh,
ago,
nice.
and he said he's doing really well. He has a wrestling school that's doing well,
Dude, he said
and
he's got like 80 students.
He's got 3 rings set up. He was on the show a couple months ago, and he did like a quick walk around to show us it. It's a pretty impressive setup he has down there.
he wrestled at. I'm trying to think of the name of the guy that's the car guy in Dallas. He has a bar, and Lamont wrestled there. Can't mind, it escapes my mind right now. But he looked pretty good. I'm glad
Yeah,
for him.
Lamont's he's definitely kept himself in shape over the years.
So, what since obviously we got you both here, favorite memory from Turner's Hall? And I feel so old saying that because I remember going to like Turner's and seeing like Mikey as like a little kid running around.
I'll start it off
Favorite
when
memory.
the Abdullah the Butcher show, where Stratoti paid your dad to bring Abdullah and his manager to the show, and they had to buy him a fork because he couldn't carry a fork in his luggage.
Yeah.
And Abdullah his manager somehow got a hold of a beer bottle. He wasn't supposed to bring it out, and he smashed it. And I guess Wally at that time was ringside. He was going crazy. And the story I heard of was Stratoti was supposed to get bladed by Abdullah, and your dad knew about it, and Abdullah knew that it was a photographer, and your dad's yelling, "Get Palmer out of the ring there! Get Palmer away from the ring!" He's afraid that Abdullah was going to grab me and show color on me.
That's
No,
funny.
that ain't it, Rob.
I see Sheik. I see Gmo.
Look up
Came
Matt
out parking lot.
Yes.
Hmm.
Look up Matt Justice versus Pondo Tampa. But
I mean, for me, there are a lot of favorable moments at Turner's, but one of the most memorable ones for me would be sitting behind the gimmick table and talking with Harley Race for almost the entire show.
that would have been cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I give credit to your
Such a
dad.
nice guy.
he brought in a lot of different types of wrestlers on their way up and on their way down. We got the opportunity to see, like you said, Hardy Race, Buff Bagwell. Uh, I, it was before my time, but he had Edge on his shows. Edge and
Christian,
Christian and Edge.
Rhino.
That was
I remember Rhino being on those shows.
he had. Did he have Mick Foley there in the early days?
Back in the mid '90s, I think he had him a couple times. There's one show you can find on YouTube that AIW posted with Cactus Jack versus Bruiser Bedlam back in like '96, I think.
The classic show wasn't at Turner's. It was at the West 130th Park Party Center when Honky Tonk Man and Tommy Rich had a beer fight. Where they had a bar set up in another room. So they went out of the ring, and when they came out of the bar area, they went through the bar area. When they came out of the bar area, they had beer, and they were throwing beer at each other. And I talked to both of them, and they still remember that match.
Was that the West Park Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bouncer says he brought in Mickey and Claudio before they got called up too.
Oh yeah.
The other memorial match was when Buddy Landell shit his pants. When he was wrestling Hamrick, and Dunn remembers it too, and Jerry Lynn. It was Jerry Lynn versus Buddy Landell, and when he did a backdrop, when he came a backdrop down, he crapped his pants.
I remember that. That was funny.
And they were avoiding that spot on the mat, the whole match, except for the end.
I think Potter had to clean it up.
Oh, fuck. Poor Potter.
And I'm pretty sure it was him.
And
we'll have to save that for question for him when we get him back on.
Jerry Lynn was wrestling Chris Hamrick, and Hamrick, they were right by that shit stain, and Hamrick rubbed his head into it.
I could see him doing that.
I miss seeing him work too.
Hamrick?
Yeah.
Ed used to bring him in all the time when he was running NEPW. It was always him and Julio. Because they would always.
Whatever happened to him?
I have no idea. Was that Julio De Niro?
Yeah, he was from Maryland, wasn't he?
I'll just taking them shitty bumps. Makes you wonder if Johnny Cage is listening.
The other guy I loved watching was Tracy Smothers. Your dad used to bring him in.
I love Tracy. When me and Brody got to work with him, that was the greatest the greatest time of my life as far as like wrestling went, was just being able to work with him. And the promos that he cut, because they did the angle where like me and Brody weren't getting along, and like we do this like promo in the back, and Tracy Smothers is looking at us, and he like looks at Brody. He's like, "You like corn, you like mashed potatoes, you like white women, you like black women. Y'all just don't get along." That was also the time where I feared for my life, though, because when we did the blow off angle, when me and Brody worked each other, Smothers was the special guest ref, and he was like, "I'm gonna fuck with you, and you're gonna go to pin, and I'm not gonna count it, and you're just gonna get mad and push me." And he's like, "I'm gonna go to clothesline you. I want you to duck it and start punching." And I was like, "All right, cool." I ducked his clothesline, and I threw that first punch, and it hit directly on his chin. and I was thinking, oh God, this is where I die. Like this is where I die. Like I got in the back and I was like, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to punch you. Oh no, God damn it, that was great. That looked good. Okay.
Looks like Bruiser has joined the party. Even Side Guy says, "Welcome, Bruiser." He's relieved to see that Ron Reed didn't finally catch up with you.
Nah, fuck Ron Reed.
Jared
You
Jared
piece of
says,
shit! I gotta say that in Russian now too. Kakashka.
I mean, that's great for
Jayhawk
you.
says the divorce rate in Cleveland is about to go up because I'm fixing to take my shirt off.
What had you fashionably late here? You have hockey practice for the boy?
No. So I was feeding the boy.
Story time.
And then I had to. So I'm in an online Madden league, and I made it to the AFC title game with the Browns. And the advance is tomorrow. And so I made it. The guy I was supposed to play was online, so we played the game. And unfortunately, I lost.
That sucks.
21-13.
You get no sprinkles.
But old Nick Chubb did me a solid because nobody had put over 100 yards on this guy all year, and Nick Chubb got 175 for me.
Nice.
Bouncer says Brody was the best. I remember doing a match with him at the small barbecue shows for Mega. Those were the best shows ever. We're at the Shedden Road Training Center when we would do the backyard barbecues and then just have wrestling matches as well. He said he grabs a ref and tells him that guy has too many colors on his shirt. He goes, I lost it.
I think if there's a Bouncer Fest this year, we need to have a show at Bouncer Fest while everyone is sober.
You can't be sober at Bouncer Fest.
In the afternoon time, you can.
But by the time we go on, everybody should be good and blacked out.
Pretty much.
Wayne, you've been to a couple of those, haven't you?
I think 3 or 4 of them.
I've definitely seen Wayne Palmer's presence at Bouncer Fest.
So it's foggy for me, so.
Kudos to Mama Bouncer because she is the one that provides the food and.
She's like a workhorse getting those things put together.
She's the best.
Mama B is awesome.
We'll get you out there,
Mama B
Mikey.
is. I'm still adjusting to Mama B
times.
being on Facebook.
Mama B's awesome because her comment on everybody's post is the same. Smiley face, heart
eyes. Yes, right. She said shit face championship wrestling.
We can make it happen.
I'm in.
Think about the occasional injury that happens to people wrestling Stone Cold sober and then get everyone fucking trashed. Imagine how bad that's going to be.
Listen,
I honestly think people might be safer if they're trashed.
I
do not.
I spent $200 on a wrestling or promoter's license for the state of Ohio. If I have to have a shitty backyard Bouncer Fest show, it's going to go down.
You got to use that fucking license.
Right?
I'm in.
Jared, SC Dub.
Well, at least when you paid for the license, it was for Sean Hatfield, not for Redline Pro Wrestling. You can use it to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Couldn't be any worse than CWA.
Actually, that probably wouldn't, but it could. I've seen worse.
I have too.
I'm sure Wayne has. Wait, I recently got tagged in a memory from 2013 when we ran into each other out in New Jersey, WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, that was at Metuchen, New Jersey.
Yes, it was.
That was a fun show. That was a fun weekend.
It was. That was the Pro Wrestling Syndicate Night 1 and Night 2. Their Night of Legends or whatever they called it.
That was the first time I saw Liger wrestle.
Yes, yeah, that was it was him and Morrison, wasn't it?
Yes, and that was New Jack's quote, his last
Yeah,
match, and
right.
Marty Jannetty jumped in the ring with them at the end.
Oh, good lord.
I'm kind of jealous of that, seeing Liger wrestle.
Yeah, that was nice.
Me too.
And there was a lot of the guys that were went to WrestleCon. They had a meet and greet the second night, I think it was, at Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
One of the nights Vader was there. One of the nights Bret Hart was there, and that was the same year that they were doing at WrestleCon. They were doing a roast of the Iron Sheik, and fucking Sheik just showed up at the show at this show before he went to his roast. He was just there in the crowd, like, "Oh, Sheiky baby, come to my roast." It's fucking awesome.
Was that the one that
Was that the one where you were driving?
was that kayfabe commentaries that did that roast of Sheiky baby?
I believe they did. Yes, yes, Trez. That was the one where Kunkel and I rode out with Necro, drove him out there.
That's what it was. Yeah, Necro.
Fucking Necro Butcher.
Dude, his supplies for the road trip, we stopped at it. We picked them up at a fucking Sheets or some shit right by Cabela's in West Virginia. And he's like, "All right, I gotta go in for supplies." He comes out with a fucking case of beer and one single individual double pack meat and cheese for the whole trip to fucking New Jersey. Then he took his shoe off and used his shoe as a cup holder. He's like, "Don't worry, I've done this before. We get pulled over, we're fine."
So when I was training at MCW down in Alliance, we would do those baseball shows out in Niles, and he was always there. And he never worked the show. He worked one show, but he was always there at the baseball game because he was such a huge baseball fan. And like Kevin would go up and talk to him and be like, "Hey man, I'll throw you a 50 spot. You come down here and do this." He'd come down out of the stands during the middle of the show barefoot, just start beating on the heels, and then go back up to his seat.
Yeah, he was a groundskeeper in Dayton before the pandemic hit. That's what I heard.
He's working at like an assisted living facility now.
Is he?
Who's this?
Yeah, he's actually like walking on
Necro.
foot back and forth to work. That dude was in a bad spot health wise for a little period of time, and like wasn't sure he was gonna make it, and now is like healthy and good and doing a lot better.
Yeah.
That's good. He was very nice. He was sitting in the. I remember those. I remember that show in Niles. He was just sitting watching the baseball game with the rest of us.
Oh, he's a fanatic baseball. Like he loves baseball. He'll watch Korean baseball. Like if you could let that man watch baseball and play Xbox all day, he'd be happy. Super nice guy. Super smart guy too.
He's a good dude.
Who was I? Oh, somebody at work, because every once in a while the subject of wrestling comes up, and they were like, "Oh, well, who'd you get to meet?" And I was like, the only person that I was like kind of sad to meet at the time. And Wayne, I don't know if you were at this show or not, but Ed, when he ran NEPW at the Rec Center in Norwalk, he had Jen Anvil Neidhart on. And this was back in 2006, I think. And the only reason I remember the date is because Anvil was so high that he couldn't write his name out. He just wrote Anvil 06 on all the autographs. But the kid that brought him down was Gutter from. I think Gutter was from Detroit. But he brought him down, and he's like, "Dude, any prescription pill that you can think of or need is in that man's fanny pack." And when he walked in, I was just like, he's like got his shades on and just out of it. And I was like, man, like this sucks. Like,
well, he did that. Anvil did a show in 06 at a little fucking dive restaurant over in Norton, and it was him and Hammer.
We called it the Shamrock, and it was our fucking dive.
No, it was a restaurant over in Norton, and it was off of Greenwich, the Oaks, I think it was the Village Oaks or something. But him and Hammer did a show there, and he was shit faced there too.
Oh, they did probably around the same time they came in for Wally a few times because they were his fucking quote unquote tag champs. When was it Hammer or Anvil that was fucking walking around on crutches with the fucking tag belts?
Probably Hammer, I think.
Still taking that booking and getting that payday though.
Right? I'm just looking something up, so sorry guys.
Bouncer said Traz worked the match, quote, not sober, and then he said hashtag meow.
Oh, dude, listen. That is the first and only time. Okay, so the show was at some bar that apparently is now a church, if it's even still standing, in somewhere in Akron. But the bar had like a parking garage underneath of it. So I think maybe we used the Mega Ring for that show, but it was a train wreck. We got the ring set up. Nobody was there for the show. Like, doors are supposed to be opening in 10 minutes, and there's absolutely nobody there. However, booze was on tap, and myself, Bouncer, and maybe one or two other people may have gotten liquored up before the match, which was rather interesting. Oh, maybe we got it. So yeah, that was
Who got liquored up?
at the Meow show. Myself, Bouncer, I forget who else worked that match, but Pitbull Nick Mancuso.
Nice.
I think he was drinking before the show too. But yeah, that was the first and only time I've ever gotten drunk before a match.
I got high with J-Rock once.
I got high just standing
only
next to
because I was a
J-Rock once.
contact
Yeah.
guy.
Bouncer said that's the show I pissed Ed off. He
Matter of
asked me
fact,
what
that
I thought of
same
Anvil and said, can you get your money back? He's high as
Oh,
fuck and
yeah.
laughing about blowing spots.
Oh yeah, there's the
Dude,
clip.
they literally.
Oh no.
What is that?
That is not. That was fucking Matt Justice diving on Pondo and fucking. Would you say, Wayne, that he broke a couple ribs and punctured a lung?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
He wasn't feeling good, so he spent a couple days in the hospital, I think.
Yeah, they'd put a tube inside of him.
Oh. What is that? Was that set up on trash cans? Like, what was that table? Ooh.
Yeah, it was like 2 trash cans and the wood part of a table.
Nope. That's a big no for me, dog.
What makes you think that that's a good idea?
There's a niche.
Or at least
There's a level of
ECW.
trust when Madman Pondo says, "Hey, I think we should do this." You put some stock in the fact that how long
Right.
he's been doing this shit. Oh God, nope. Mm-mm.
I get
They were
that.
like on trash cans. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I understand that. I understand the trust for Pondo, but
Oh,
let's be quite honest here. He's
Yeah,
probably
bounce. Ooh.
He's probably what, 40 feet, 50 feet in the air on that?
probably.
Probably, easily.
That's at least 30.
At least 3 stories up, so whatever the equivalent of that would be.
So
Nope.
Skadoosh.
I mean,
This clip
And
brought
this
to you by
was-
Helping Hands Moving Service. Call Cheddar Dave
Yes.
216-682-6955.
and Justice is a dude that worked for WWE for a while.
Yeah, but also is a little fucking crazy himself. I don't mean that in a bad way.
And they probably got a really good fucking payday out of that.
Yeah. Although probably still not enough to cover fucking Pondo's medical bills.
Well, at this point, yeah, this is true. But yeah, Jayhawk says knowing Justice, he didn't need a ton of coaxing for that.
He's a very big fan of the early ECW.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah, he is. We almost wrecked on the Pennsylvania Turnpike driving to New York because somebody wanted to watch ECW on the network when it first came out on my iPad. Marty Bell was asleep. So it was me. I want to say Wardlow and Matt. No, it wasn't Wardlow. It was Chris Stark. We're in the car. We're going to New York for NYWC because Marty and Matt were booked, and I was just along for the ride, really. So Marty and Chris are in the back, and they're passed out, and it's me and Matt up front, and we're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I pull out my iPad and hook it up to my phone with a mobile hotspot and start watching the network just to keep myself entertained. Matt goes, "Oh, put it up on the dash. Put it up on the dash." He's doing
that's
90.
not a good idea.
He's doing 90 down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. We're watching Heatwave 99. So yeah, I'm aware he's a big fan of the early ECW.
So I missed this comment. Sign guy asked Mikey, "Do you have a favorite Wayne Palmer story?"
Everybody's got a pussy.
Uh,
Oh, now it pops up.
Favorite Wayne Palmer story? I don't know. Might have to come back to that one. Take some time to think about that.
All right, well, then the inverse of that. Wayne, what's your favorite JT story?
Let me think.
And how many nudes of the Glow Girls do you have?
No, don't. Stop it. You're gonna kill his gig.
All kidding aside, if you want one of the Glow Girls to be on your show, I can arrange it.
Don't you
What?
That
tempt?
would actually.
Don't you tempt?
Don't you dare.
Wayne, you're hired.
Yes.
I could get Sunny the Sunshine Girl.
We will discuss this off air after the show, Hank. Hank, Jesus.
Oh.
Hey, you just got promoted to Hank Hudson status.
Yes. Yeah, if we can make that happen, Wayne, we're definitely talking after the show tonight.
I'm trying to think of favorite. There's a lot of stories with JT. I know he was a good guy.
I'm pretty sure that was my initiation with JT, was when me and Brody got to work Bane and Fat Nick at a Cleveland All Pro show. And the most I remember of the match is just seeing the lights at Turner's Hall, because I was taking every clothesline, boot, power bomb, whatever you can call it, while Brody just stood in the corner and refused to tag me in or tag out.
One of my stories with JT is he was chewing me out because I didn't come to one of the shows, and I told him, JT, my father passed away, and he felt so bad. He actually gave me a couple tickets for the show, next show.
Huh.
Oh, which one was this from?
I
JT
forget
what
Lee
show
versus
that was.
Sheik Abdul.
Where was that at?
Man,
Well, let's see. We're 5 minutes in and we haven't even locked up yet. So this is one of your dad's matches. 10 minutes in, probably 2 bumps deep.
Listen, one of my favorite JT stories is still Mama B.
Oh God, yes.
God. I'm gonna tag Sheik because I don't know what show that would have been. Because your dad traveled a lot. Him and Sheik did a lot in Michigan, I think, too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was there in Altoona, PA.
Altoona, that was the other one, yeah.
Fantastic
ATM,
stories
motherfucker.
for those road trips.
ATM. That's my favorite JT story.
Which one?
NEPW days, and JT cuts a spot on Eddie Edwards in the ring, and it ended with ATM, motherfucker, ATM. Sign guy, JT and the Munchies were 6-man team champions across the world, not just Texas.
Yeah, not just in Texas. It was worldwide. To this day, they're still the champs. Actually, if Boucher's still in the comment section, I think one night he won, but surely the titles went back. There's no way they didn't go back. Ooh, that was a weird bump.
What was that?
I'm watching that Kushida cruiserweight fucking NXT match. And did like a double arm butterfly off the top and landed really weird.
Jayhawk says they beat Johnny Powers, Ernie Ladd, and Ox Baker at the Cleveland Arena.
Yes. It was Rio de Janeiro.
That was always the best, though, is he would cut the promo, and it was like, basically the There We Were stories, but it was like, we worked this guy and this guy.
It was very Rio de Janeiro, Pat Patterson-esque.
Those were always funny.
Who has the old belts that he used to have?
I think Aftermath actually has them.
Does he?
He has a couple of them. To my knowledge, he has a couple of them. Because I asked him about it a while ago, and he was saying one of the belts he was trying to get, or he was trying to buy from some guy that lived in Avon or Avon Lake, but he had left it outside, and it all deteriorated and ruined and stuff like that.
That's terrible.
But the newer, I want to see the newer tag belts. I think Robbie Starr and Matt Appleman, I think is what his name is, the Supernovas. I think they had those, but I'm not sure. Not sure what happened to those ones. But yeah, I think Aftermath has a couple of the old ones.
Like the banners and all that. Hang on.
Hang on, what was going on now?
Paisley. Nope, we lost. Hang on. Oh, there I am.
No, we're still here. Do you have Southwest
I thought I froze up for
Florida
a minute there.
internet?
It was weird. Apparently I do. Jayhawk says lots of Freebirds in Atlanta or Von Erichs in Dallas in those promos. Yeah, there was always a lot of the Von Erichs in those promos.
Rob said you went Willie style.
Where's the old man at?
he's, he purposely stayed in the living room because he's like, I got my shirt off. I don't.
No, it's perfect.
Rob said he's got
Right.
his angry rant queued up. What was that related to? Like, what is that? Is there a tie into that? What did he blow a gasket on? Now that
There
Bruiser's
is,
here,
and
we have.
that'll tie into later tonight. You
What
know what?
Saturday
happened?
night,
Fuck it.
bitches. It's
I'll
10:30.
talk about it tonight or right now. Um. So obviously there was heat over us leaving a station. Since then, there's been a lot of, uh, oh well, your true friends, like all these like weird cryptic like posts on Instagram and even on his Facebook page, which I don't know about YouTube, but I got the boot from the friends list a
I
couple
did
Yeah,
weeks
he
ago.
too.
sent me. He didn't delete me.
No, but anyways, I was watching the show last Sunday, and they do their monthly show awards. Whatever, that's fine. That's their gig. It's not something we do. But he made a comment, and I believe it was directed towards us as a whole. But it was like, oh well, watch people start copying what because we're doing it now. It's like, dude, nobody's trying to copy you. Like nobody's trying to do like chill out. Like quit trying to be like
Bro,
that weird jaded ex girlfriend kind of thing. Like
anytime an adult says someone copied them, grow the fuck up, bro.
right. So like obviously I know when we left and there were several other shows that left, but like I said, we got heat for leaving. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. We're back
I
to having
honestly, from
fun.
my perspective, I didn't have any issues with Dave. I had more of an issue with that other fucking douche that he brought in.
Daryl.
I don't
Yes.
know what his fucking name
And
was. He
see,
was annoying as
that's
fuck.
yeah. So okay, so that kind of ties into this as well. So we I ended up pulling the show for various reasons. I had talked to George about him helping us if we were going to do this, if we did it through Zoom.
Doug
I
pounding
had talked
Daryl.
to
I don't know what that
Peyton.
means, but that's fucking funny.
I had talked to Peyton because Peyton runs his own thing as well. And I talked to Rob. It made sense to stick with Rob because Rob at the time was the production guy for RPW, which we were all still involved in at that point. Um, but when we left, it was you guys were trying to fuck me over, and it's like, what do I have to gain out of that? Like I'm not like
Can someone explain to me in
it,
what way we fucked him over though? Like, how did we wrong Dave? Like, what did we
right
do to
because
harm him or his business?
no matter what we would have done, it would have been like if George would have helped us, it would have been George and Sean are going to start doing their own thing, or but we were gonna be the target either way. Didn't matter what we did.
Because we're
So
outspoken and we don't care.
right. So going over to the RPW stuff, he had messaged me and he's like, well, wish you guys luck, blah, 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 blah. What's this mean for RPW? And I said, everything stays the same. Everybody's job duties stay the same. And he's like, well, there's some things that we need to fix. And I said, well, what's that? And he goes, well, I don't think we should just be putting belts on anybody. We should tell a story. And I said, what do you think the tag team tournament was going to be? What do you think the storyline that we had set up for the battle royal that was going to lead into a singles match for the our world title that we had? Like there was going to be stories told, and that's why we wanted to do these tapings because that was all going to be set up in these tapings. And he's like, well, I should have more say in who we bring in. I said, well, who do you want to? I said, you brought Rob in originally to do the production. When I told Rob, hey, this is the vision I have for like the build up promo, like intro for us for the show because we were going to do like a YouTube series, essentially like NWA Power. We were going to do these series of like 1 hour shows. He Rob presents this, hype promo, and it was awesome, and we kept it and we ran with it. So obviously, when we left and when Rob left, all of a sudden Dave's like, "Well, I don't want Rob as the production guy." I said, "Rob's staying. Like, I can tell Rob, hey, this is the vision I have, and Rob can make it happen. And he's like, well, he underperformed at at Red Line, and I want to bring Daryl in. I said, I don't know Daryl. I said, recently seeing some of his stuff, I don't care for it, but Rob is the guy. That is not going to change. And then it turned into we were trying to fuck him over in RPW, and I was running everything. Well, I had $3,000 dumped into this. I was the one going and getting the license. I was the one going and getting the permits. I was the one going and looking for the buildings. Big Sean was the one that was going to be doing all the graphics for us for the cards and stuff like that. And then he was going to be essentially like our on-air GM. Blaze was going to be do the booking. Dave was in charge of bringing all the equipment so that we could record it, so that later Rob can make an actual episode out of it. We had to cancel 2 tapings because we were going to do one in February. We get a week and a half out, and everybody's like, well, this is what we have. This is, and Dave's like, well, what do I need to bring? I said, bring the equipment and a hard cam so we can keep it on the ring, because we were originally going to do the first show out at the Highland Center. And me and Bouncer had talked about it, and I said, we're not going to advertise that we're running there. We're just going to kind of set it up differently so that it looks different, so it's not a dead giveaway where we're running at. So speed it along a little bit. Dave starts backpedaling. He's like, well, I got shows to produce that day, and Clint's not sure if he wants to do the commentary because he doesn't have any info of the workers, and it's a week and a half out. And this is nothing against Clint, because I like Clint. Clint's my dude. But I told Dave, I said, he will have that the day of the show. When we know who's all there, he will have that information. We're not going to leave him hanging to do commentary and not know anything about the guys. Like, we're just not going to do that. So it essentially turned into a train wreck. We canceled the first show because of that, because he was backpedaling. We move along to March 6th, which was going to be the taping down in Beach City at Power Slam's building. And then that's when all hell broke loose, and he insisted that we were fucking him over and all this other shit. And, you guys want me out, then you can buy me out and all this other shit. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. If you guys, he bought the titles and everything for me. Looking back on it, I should have just done what Big Sean said and was just pay him his $250 and we start running the promotion, because by now we would have had several episodes out and our YouTube channel running, and people would have known what the promotion was about and things like that. But, now we're live streaming video games on his RPW page. Everything RPW that I had related, I shut down.
That sucks.
But
That was looking like it was going to be a cool thing.
So what is this rant
you know
is
what
about?
it was going to be. What's that?
Oh, it's a clip of Rob blowing a gasket. Never mind.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, because Rob got tied into all that because, apparently we're trying to, as a network, copy the things that they do. And, we're like, if you look at some of his Instagram posts, it was, oh, well, people are trying to copy us and this and that. And it's like, nobody's trying to copy you, dude. Like, we're out here doing our own thing. It's fun for us to do this again, because being there, that was the thing that pissed me off, was especially during the time that there was a COVID scare where I worked at. And I came to you guys and I said, look, we're going to do the shows through Zoom because George is offering that service for us, to do it so that we could still do shows.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about getting Bill sick, who then has to worry about getting his daughter sick. And it gave us the opportunity to get more guests on, like Angel, like Lou, like, Potter and guys like that. But then you've got a guy who's, telling everybody, well, I don't share shows that are on Zoom. Oh, yeah, this was the opening. Go ahead, Rob, play it.
Good morning. I am the professor.
Oh, yeah, and then
I am the
it goes
most
into his promo.
intelligent person in all of professional wrestling.
But yeah,
And
that was
therefore,
the gist
when
of it.
someone of my intelligence consents to speak,
Sorry about that. That was
to
me.
people,
That was me underperforming, I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
fucking slacker.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
You're a real
But yeah,
piece
it
of
just
shit,
came,
Rob.
If you
like,
if you
it
look
came
at the
down to, like,
beginning of my videos on my page specifically, like I look at it now and it's shit. It really is shit. And it's blocky. And when it comes to video, and all that stuff. And so, like, when I'm looking at what we're talking about now, because I really haven't paid attention, but if we're looking at what I'm copying, I mean, that looks like a copy of what I was doing like years ago when I first started and all that. But like, as far as like programming and editing and putting everything together. So as you're talking, I'm just trying to, underperformed. Hey, like, I don't doubt it, but like, where? Help me identify so that like you can, so that I can improve. Otherwise, like, what are you talking about? That's
My advice would be just to suck a little bit less. I think we'll be all right.
all right. Well, I mean, I'm always trying to, suck less.
Yeah, right. I think you're doing great. That's one of the first things I told him when we came over here is I love the production value. I think you're doing a good work, man.
And like, I don't know. I don't want to go on about it, and I
Right.
haven't said anything, but like, once I do, I do. And like, I said my piece yesterday and blew a gasket. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think you're sucking just enough. I would like you to fondle the balls more, though.
Just a little handsy. That's all he's asking for.
All right,
Just
hold
a
on.
little
Let me
bit.
try this.
just got to work the shaft.
There it is. Yes.
But yeah, it came to a point where, when we were doing the Zoom shows and stuff like that, because of, like I said, the COVID scare that we had at work and stuff like that, I didn't want to get anybody sick. So, and again, it opened up for us to get more guests in that we typically would not be able to get in studio. And I was told, because I saw the messages, that it was going to be, well, if anybody's doing Zoom, I'm going to start booting people off the network if they're doing Zoom and all this other shit. And I was like, you know what, dude, this isn't fun for me anymore. Like, we're not signed to any kind of weird contract or anything like that. Like, I'm dipping. Like, I don't have time for this kind of bullshit. And that was a couple reasons why I decided, hey, we're gonna pull from here and go do our own thing, or work with somebody. And like I said, I decided that we would work with Rob because Rob was going to be the production guy for RPW. And I didn't realize this till afterwards. There were a lot of people that were excited to see how that product was going to turn out because of the people that were running it. Myself, Big Sean, Blaze, the things that we had set in place and the things that we were going to do. There was a lot of excitement on our end for it and stuff like that. So when we ended up shutting it down, like, a lot of the guys were kind of bummed about it because, like you said, like, there was going to be a lot of solid stuff on there. But I digress.
I like how this turned into shoot on Dave.
Seriously,
hour.
Wayne, how girls? It's not even that. It's just like, quit trying to play the victim. Quit trying to be like everybody's out to get you. Like, nobody was out to get you in the first place, on our end or anything like that. I made a decision that we were going to move the show. And now all of a sudden, like, you want to take these weird, like, cheap shots at us. And, we're here. If you want to come on and explain yourself, come on. If you want to call in. But he won't. He'd rather, just kind of leave his
He lost
cryptic
me when he
little
fucked me on
messages
that
about
race
how
car.
people are trying to copy him. And, well, that too, yeah.
How did he fuck you on the race car now?
But how many glow women have you gotten?
You said how many of you got pregnant?
He muted us. Wayne's like, fuck this, I'm done.
Fuck these idiots.
Now, is there's a glow cruise that you go on, right?
Well, it was supposed to have gone last year because of the pandemic, and I doubt we're going to have another one. Because Roxy, who was running it, her boyfriend, who was Dan Magnus, had a heart replacement.
Oh.
Yeah, that would kind of damper plans.
So she's, she was really busy with him, seeing him in the hospital.
Palmer, how many sets of glow titties have you seen?
Oh, you missed the whole first hour of the show, bro.
Right.
I mean, I'm jealous of this. I'm not gonna lie.
So
Sign guy
I no
says
longer have.
Rob still sucks less than me. Fuck you, sign guy.
Jayhawk says, if that's underperforming, what the fuck was Dave expecting? I got nothing. Yeah, I now, after this, talking with Wayne, I no longer have just a in general life bucket list. I have a Wayne Palmer bucket list. And it's the CACs, it's the Glow Cruise.
Yeah. Listen,
Yes.
my wife got to cross something off her bucket list last week. I'd love to cross the cauliflower alley off of mine this year. That'd be awesome.
Well, they're starting
Oh, yeah,
they're starting a new museum up in Albany, New York, International Wrestling Hall of Fame, and they're going to have their induction in August.
Oh, I'm of the understanding
Who's got a cowbell?
CACs is essentially like
Whatever it is, we need more cowbell.
Oh, my understanding, that's like that's the Hall of Fame.
Well, there's really four museums I know of. Vince has one on paper. There's one in Wichita Falls, Texas. There's one in Waterloo, Iowa, and there's going to be one in Albany, New York.
Fair enough.
And I think the reason they're all popular is people from New York don't like to go to Texas, and vice versa.
Sure, that's a long way.
Cauliflower's a long way, but the only thing that makes it really good, it's in Las Vegas.
Well, and
there's
everybody
other things
goes.
to do.
You'll run into people from everywhere out there.
And there's other things to do. Some people go to the shows, or they extend it into a vacation and gamble and whatever.
Yeah, I'm all for a CAC trip, man.
And the thing is, I've met people who I thought I'd never ever meet in my entire life, watching them on television.
See, I want to go to meet, meet some of the old school guys, but also to see if I can find the tunnel people that live in the tunnels of, the strip.
They exist.
They do. There's a whole documentary on Netflix about it.
There is an underground in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I've heard they want to build a tunnel for traffic in Las Vegas.
Is traffic that bad out there that they need to do that? Or?
Oh, I'm sure it has to be.
On the weekends, it is.
Well, yeah, okay.
It wasn't bad during the pandemic, though.
I'm sure.
Neither was Florida.
The only time there's no traffic is like at 3:00 in the morning. You can take a cab ride from one end of the strip to the next. But during regular rush hour, forget about it.
Right.
The other things on my bucket list, I want to meet Trish Stratus. I've met her a couple of times. I never got a chance.
I bet you do.
Well, she's gonna be in Waterloo, Iowa this year. I think me and Zoltan are gonna take a ride up.
Oh, all right. You gonna try and add her to the portfolio?
There you go.
Yes. Mark Henry's supposed to.
He's another one. He's another one I should try to get on.
Yeah, he's got stories upon stories of, you name it. He's worked with them in the business, at least the old timers.
Get Danhausen on.
He's got some great Bobo Brazil stories Uh, who else? He's got Honky Tonk Man Stories. He gave Honky Tonk his break in the business.
Who now looks
Oh,
like the
shit.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, he looks like Tim Allen from the Santa Claus.
He does. I
Oh,
saw
Gijo.
that picture. I was like, holy hell. Somebody quit using the Just for Men. Yeah, a bloated Kurt Russell.
Hello, wife.
I could see her titties through the reflection of your glasses.
In my glasses? Yeah.
Could they see me?
It's just a reflection. It's fine.
It's just
You're not going to get us kicked off. It's okay. Oh no. Oh, no. Oh, okay. This
there's
is
the
why.
asshole.
Yep.
There's
Hello.
the asshole.
Poppy.
We made it
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour and a half. He's like, it's been an hour lately, dude. You're fucking up.
How many shows would you say you were doing a year to do photography for before the pandemic, Wayne?
Oh, I'd say at least 50. Some good shows, some bad shows, but let's put it this way. I give credit to anybody that's got the balls to get in a squared circle. People don't
Wait,
realize how tough it is.
I've seen you at both good and bad shows. I know.
Mhm.
I remember that Shamrock show when you lost your mask.
Yes.
And Pedro had to give it to you because you were supposed to win.
Oh, Pedro. I miss that guy.
That's a guy to get on your show too. It's Pedro.
That's what I would love to get on. Maybe a scheduling thing. I haven't really talked to anybody about, but you have been in contact. Yeah. That's the guy that would have some stories too.
We actually at one point tried to organize something where we pre-taped a show with him to air, but just couldn't get it worked out.
Well, that was around the time, like, we started planning that right when someone at the old station tested positive, and then we all kind of like, all right, nobody's in the studio.
Right, yeah.
I should text him, not even just for
Yeah,
that,
that
just
was
to say
about
hi.
Myself and my wife.
What's that?
Pedro was the guy that he was the officiant, I think is what you would call it, for my wedding.
Oh, was
That's awesome.
Yeah, he married you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Married you and Julia.
Did he use the Peyton Vince ring voice?
He did. He did.
I now pronounce you.
Yeah, he didn't say for the reception either. He went home that night, didn't he?
I think so.
Well, you guys got married, what, up in Michigan, didn't you?
We did.
How long were you up there for before you... How long were you guys up there? How long were you up there before you guys moved down here?
Let's see. I moved up December 2012. And then moved back down when we bought this house. So a good, 7.5 years, 8 years.
Okay. Yeah, the next time you move, Julie's going to have to move her own boxes because I ain't dealing with them books again.
I'm not dealing with those either.
She's got that woman's got a book. That woman's got a book problem.
Got, I think, probably over 1,000 now. Not
I
more
wouldn't
than that. She's
Yeah,
got
you
like
guys are.
8 bookshelves full.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got a you guys are in a nice little quiet neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
on the north side.
Somebody said show the
Well,
glow pictures.
Yeah, I don't know
They're
who
up.
said it.
They're up on Facebook. A lot of them.
Oh yeah.
No, those aren't the pictures they're talking about, Wayne. They want the other
Oh,
pictures.
I'll go to my grave
Well,
with those.
mm,
Yes.
Sign guy says I have over 1,500 in my storage unit. You sir have a book problem.
I haven't even read 1,500 books, let alone owned 1,500 books.
There we go.
There's the Glow Girls. We'll call them the Wayne Palmer posse.
Right.
Did we lose Bruiser?
Sort of ish. So Wayne, I'll ask this question to you too, and even Mikey too. We kind of brought this up last week. As far as like the WWE Hall of Fame goes, who would you want to see in there that hasn't already been in yet? Mine, just because you're here, was I think you induct Glow as a whole group into the Hall of Fame. Just because realistically, like that kind of
Well,
kick-started women's wrestling.
they were the first women entertainers.
Right.
If you really want to get technical, even before Vince, had his eye candy and he had Sable and all the rest of his crew there. Is the Russian Baron, is Ivan Koloff in the
I believe he
WWE Hall
is.
of Fame? Is Nikolai Volkov in?
I'm almost positive he's in.
One of them isn't.
Okay.
I'm gonna check now.
Yeah, you got the Google machine there.
I think it's Ivan Koloff.
Well, let's see what it comes up as. Yes, Ivan Koloff, who passed away February 8th at the age of 74, never made WWE's Hall of Fame.
That's a
That's strange.
travesty.
It really is. And a lot of times they'll put someone in right after they die too. It's strange they didn't put him. I mean, it definitely would have been overshadowed this year though, with like the 2 years of classes going in at the same time.
Right.
There's some people Vince doesn't like. I know he doesn't like Wendy Rector, and she never gets invited to a lot of the functions he had when we were in Florida, even though she's in the Hall of Fame.
Is she in the CAC one?
I don't know.
Bruiser, did you just change shirts?
No, I had to say goodnight to the children.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the issue they're running into now. Is I think they're trying to pump out popular names for the Hall of Fame, just so that they can get those, the viewing.
I've always been of the that they should put the person in the Hall of Fame while they're living yet. When Killer Brooks was dying, they inducted him into the Hall of Fame when he was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So at least he could enjoy that honor.
Right.
There's such political BS around it too, though. Like, you're telling me Miss Elizabeth can't get into the Hall of Fame, or Lex Luger can't get into the Hall of Fame, but the Great Khali can, simply because you want more of a foothold in the Indian market?
Bro, he's like their Hulk Hogan in India.
I don't give a shit. He's nothing over here.
But they're still a worldwide company. It's not just the fan base in the U.S.
The other one that won't get in is China.
Oh,
well,
yeah, no.
that's I can understand that.
Yeah.
Mickey James won't ever get in either.
I would like to see China in.
Mickey James also got released today, unfortunately.
Mickey James did a porn too.
Oh, she got the beef curtain pictures too.
She does.
Is Paige in the Hall of Fame?
No, not yet.
I don't think so. No.
I don't think she'll get in because she.
I don't think she's even out of her 20s yet.
Right. I think she will. I think she will only because, like I said, I think now they're trying to put in the more, I guess, kind of relevant past names, just so that they can keep people's attention on it.
Do you think they should put people in who are the supporting cast in the Hall of Fame, like Sarah Del Rey, who's a trainer, or
I think you should acknowledge those guys. Barry Horowitz for being, the greatest jobber.
When they put guys like Liger and guys like that never did anything in the U.S. in there or for the WWE at all, and they in recent years have tried to make the WWE Hall of Fame just a wrestling Hall of Fame, or at least present it that way at times. I don't see why they wouldn't. They would probably pot it off as like the Warrior Award or something like that, but I think they can find a place for that.
Even guys like William Regal, who was instrumental with NXT, deserves to be put in.
Right.
I wouldn't agree more with that.
Brian Pillman deserves to be in. He's not in yet either.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
So you're right. It's a lot of it's political, and a lot of it's for business reasons, like getting a foothold in India. Right. I really couldn't blame Vince for putting Khali in, although he didn't deserve it for the United States. But look at the market in India.
Oh yeah.
What about Owen Hart?
He runs a wrestling.
Listen, Benoit should be in, and Benoit should be in with the caveat of this is what happened, because we can prove, brain injury and all that stuff.
The way Peacock is going through and purging stuff right now, there's no way they're gonna acknowledge Benoit and put him in.
I can.
Well, that's with O.J. Simpson being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
But Peacock isn't purging all that much. They're only purging the overtly racist stuff. A lot of the sexual stuff from the 90s is still in there.
Not the live sex celebration with Edge and Lita.
Okay.
Which apparently neither one of them actually really wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah, neither one of them wanted to do it in the first place. But Sable on Monday Night Raw with a set of handprints on her tits is still on there.
Right.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
See, I don't think...
And that bikini she wore, too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, obviously, with his family, I don't think you get Owen Hart in solo. I think the way around that is inducting the whole,
the Hart family's in there.
The whole group.
Yeah, as the whole group.
I hate to say this, if his wife were to die that year, they would go in.
Maybe.
She's the one keeping him from going in.
Right.
Yes, she is.
Well, so is his son.
And I mean, understandably so, especially after watching Dark Side of the Ring episode where, they got petty and tried to sue her for the shows that he couldn't make it to because he was fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
Jayhawk says that Booker T promo is still on there. Hogan, we coming for you. I'd like to see Owen Hart in, though.
I definitely would.
Yeah, between Owen Hart, Benoit, and Pillman.
Because wasn't it Sullivan that was making a big deal about, they should actually, like what Wayne was saying, like your enhancement talent, your people behind the scenes, like they should be getting in as well.
Well, I think there was one guy that just got in just recently who.
Let me tell you something, Gino. You out here talking about a click.
No. We got yelled at last week.
It's non-stop from this point on in WCW. We take what we want, and after we take Lex Luger and the job, we want the gold sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Fucking Mean Gene's face.
Dude, the best though is Sherry like trying to comfort him in all of that.
Yeah, like, oh, don't worry, you're not gonna get fired. You're fine. Well, he's even said, I thought my career was over.
Yeah.
Benoit should be in, but there needs to be a caveat or an asterisk next to his induction because you can't ignore what happened.
Or you just quietly put him in and say, hey, he's inducted, but we're not going to
Like the legacy stuff where they just put words on a screen and move on.
Right.
Well, he could have. They don't know.
No,
if he was
because
suffering.
any mention of his name, if you do it with the legacy version, right? People who are going to want him acknowledged for his accomplishments are going to scream and jump up and down. The people who oppose him getting in because they feel like it is celebrating domestic violence because he's in are going to jump up and down. You either do it or you don't, and you just say we're putting him in because of his accomplishments in the ring. We understand that outside of the ring he had his troubles. We're going to acknowledge that. This is our blurb about it, and you let it be.
Yeah, I think they go the other way. I look at all they've done thus far. I don't see him steering into that skid.
No. Wayne, if there was a local Hall of Fame, who would be who's the first one on your ballot for the Cleveland area Hall of Fame?
Mike's father, JT.
Well, he's kind of got to be the first inductee, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
Because you go around to JT was known throughout the country. I mean, not only in Cleveland.
Well, Christ, for a while there, he was the contact for the Fed, for ECW. Like anytime any of the bigger ones came in, like to the area.
Well,
JT,
Ring of Honor ran shows.
Yeah. That's how I got on the Juggalo show.
Whoop whoop.
And had quarters.
Surprise the Juggalo.
And I'd say guys that had longevity in the business, that were just local wrestlers. Even like Bouncer. Bouncer's been in the business for 20 years.
Yeah, he'd be late to the induction ceremony, though.
Yeah, he's on Bouncer time.
They'd have to play his music at least 3 times before he came out. He's going over the finish with Harry in the back.
And people like Nikki Grant, Angel Dust, or Zoe Scott, whatever name she wants to use.
I'd say John Thorne and Chandler Biggins.
I'd say too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put even like Ray Rowe and JC on that list too, because of the what they did with the original AIW before the split happened, and you got Fat Nick and all that. I can see that too, but definitely Biggins and Thorne, because they took the ball after JT's passing and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
What about a guy like Psycho Mike, who wrestled?
Psycho Mike.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
I would give the nod to Psycho Mike before Gmo, because fuck Gmo.
Like, and here's the thing. Like Psycho Mike, like the first indie show that I went and saw, he was on. Like Mike at one point was like a really good fucking worker.
He was.
And it was explained to me that he, obviously, had life happen to him and some things go down and stuff like that. But like, through all the Gmo bullshit, like I I've always had a soft spot for Psycho Mike just because I've seen him work. I know that he was a good worker at one time. So I would agree on putting him in something like that.
Are you asking why it's wet on the carpet over there?
And guys like Shiki.
Tell us more about that wet spot, Bruiser.
My son was trying to fill up a squirt gun via a water bottle, and it did not work out in his favor.
Not where I thought that story was going.
Yeah, Shiki gets thrown in there. Him, JT, they get thrown in multiple times. They get in solo, and then they get in for the 6-man, and then the Munchies, and
Yeah, fuck Trimmins. Nobody likes him anyway.
I like Trimmins.
One person I would probably throw in there would be my dad's old tag team partner, Outlaw Johnny Walker.
Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise
What
known
about
as
Traxler?
Pain and Agony.
Traxler. Yes.
I would say Traxler for the longevity of how long he's been around and what he's given to the area.
What about Mad Dog Manson?
Yeah.
As
Nobody
long
likes
as I
him
don't gotta
anyway.
take a punch, as long as I don't gotta take a punch from him, we'll be fine.
Right.
I told him I pulled a Jerry Lawler line on him once. I worked him a couple times for Mega, and the one of the last times I worked him, I said, "Will you hit me for real?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Will you hit me for real? Because your work punches are killing me."
Donut punches.
Rod the Bod Destiny.
What about Big Tom?
Ugh. We said Northern Ohio. I like Tom, but good Lord.
Tom also likes Tom.
Tom loves him some Tom. He's like T.O. He loves me some me.
You gotta put in Iron Man for the legacy part for
No, you don't.
enhancement talent. I had fun working him. I feel bad. I feel bad because when I did work with him, he's got that whole broken jaw issue going on. So he's like, if you throw a clothesline, just make sure you don't hit me in the face. And God damn it, Wayne Palmer got the perfect picture of my forearm right here.
Yeah, the other guy who didn't wrestle a lot around here was Lou Marconi.
Yeah, Beef Stew Lou.
Beef Stew Lou. He trained Raymond Rowe.
See, I always thought JT trained Ray Rowe.
I think it was one of those where he had started training. Right. Canadian Bad Boy. As sign guy throws out Canadian Bad Boy's name.
Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing Iron Man, you got to do Canadian Bad Boy.
Right.
Adam
Canadian. Well, if you put Bad Boy in there, you'd have to put Casey Blood in there too.
Sure.
That's who I was thinking of.
Adam Cage.
Yeah, you got to throw Cage in there.
So you had Casey Blood, you had Bad Boy. Who was the other big super heavyweight that wrestled at JT's a lot?
Those were the only two I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody else.
You gotta put Nate Manson, yeah.
Matson, yeah, definitely. Even though he's as much a Michigan guy as he's an Ohio guy, he's worked around here a lot.
Well, JT used him a shit ton.
Oh yeah, definitely. And in turn, then Traxler did too.
Yeah.
We mentioned Iron Man. Reminds Mike of your dad's benefit show while he was still with us. Iron Man potatoed the fuck out of me in that battle royal.
Was that at the Blendas?
It was, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't at that show.
You know who lives around here, but he didn't wrestle a lot, was Frank Stiletto.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while.
But I ran into him recently with Iron Man and Frank, and I'm trying to think who else was there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other guys. Preston.
You know, Preston. Yes.
I would say Preston. Yeah, definitely.
And you know where you could have the museum? You could have it at Turner's.
Yes. I mean, the
You could.
perfect place for it.
Isn't
You've
that
got.
place falling down though?
Danny owns it. I haven't talked to Danny for a while, but he bought the building, and he
Danny
was running.
who?
Danny is the promoter who
Oh,
ran Premiere.
Yeah, he's working with Dombrowski.
Yeah.
I mean, Potok.
He deserves some honoring in there. Yes. Well, he ran that TV show for a while.
He did unleash Lurk Glebe on us though.
Ugh. I would say you got to put Lamont in there too.
For sure.
Yeah. Wasp as a collective.
How about Chuck Jackson?
Chuck, I just saw Chuck last week. No, fuck you.
Fuck Chuck.
I ran into Chuck at his shoot job. Chuck and Paco.
Listen,
I gotta get up there.
For as much as Chuck talks about liking to do fantasy sports, he's the one dude I've met that can't run a fucking fantasy NASCAR league. I never could log into that fucker. I've just given up on it all year.
I was gonna say I don't think I've logged into that yet because he used a completely different site than I'm normal to using.
I don't know what's official and what's not. But there may or may not be a Chuck show coming soon,
Burning River.
or Wasp, or something.
Yeah. I'm more concentrated right now on the idea of trying to move, but there is a part of me, and I've talked to Traxler about it because we've tossed around some ideas about actually like putting together a promotion, but I don't know.
What you're moving?
Trying to.
He's trying to take his ass to Florida.
Fucking A. I just got to give it a little bit of time.
I'm about to get a house, and you're moving.
Fucking A. I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit weather.
That's all right. Bill's gonna have to come over and party at my house then.
That's right.
The only drawback about Florida is the heat in the summertime. I know someone who's living down there wants to find a place in Tennessee to live in the warm weather, in the summer weather.
I'm trying to get down to Tampa or Tampa area.
Dude, you're a ginger. You're gonna roast down there.
That's fine. I'm okay.
If I was moving, I'd move to North Carolina.
Why is that?
Because you can find a place in the mountains where it's not really hot and the weather's decent year round.
Charlotte's where it's at, man.
Sign guy says you'll get the Willie Patterson internet connection down there.
You know what, sign guy? I'm just about done with your ass tonight. You might be able to pull that shit with the star of the show, but we got
not on this network.
Not on this network. Not a finger. So it's getting to be about that time.
I was literally just about to say it's about that time.
It is about that time.
We want to travel down this road, do we?
I do.
Go for it.
It sounds like you're ready, Bruiser. Who you got? Who's your fucking guy of the week?
Bruiser Schmidt is on the clock.
So, did you know that there's no such thing as systemic racism? It doesn't exist, and that anywhere that the blacks move into, that there is automatically going to be trouble. As proof by Scene 75 in Brunswick, because Marty, the racist parts guy, lives right across the street from there, and those people
racist
are over
parts guy is back again.
And those people are over there starting fights every night. and the cops have to get called. And I said, "What people, Marty?" And he said, "Those people." I said, "What people?" And he goes, "Well, it's not just the blacks." And I went,
No.
"Oh, really?" So yeah, racist parts guy can go fuck himself.
What you got, Bill?
I'm gonna have to give it some further thought. To be honest with you, circle back to me.
So, mine ended up being a racist warehouse guy that loaded my truck up today. I go in and I literally had to pick up like 100-pound skid. Like I just wanted to get in and out, and this dude wanted to talk to me about everything going on in the world. He's like, another shooting down in Columbus. You know, if these people would just quit resisting, this shit wouldn't happen. And it was the shooting that happened in the hospital, I guess. And he follows it up with, you know, it's getting out of hand. You know, if they just want to segregate stuff, send all the black cops over to the east side, all the white cops over on the west side, and you know there won't be an issue. And I was just like, can I just sign my paperwork and get the fuck out of here? Like, I don't want to have this conversation with you, dude. Mikey?
Mike, are you familiar with the "fuck you guy of the week" segment?
I am not.
So it's someone who has wronged you, someone you want to shit on, someone you want to shoot on, just somebody who pissed you off or anything along those lines.
I'd
I'd
not
prefer
anybody offhand.
I'd prefer it if you shot on Sheiky for like 2 minutes.
God damn it!
I have nothing bad to say about him, though.
God damn it! So he just makes shit up. Talk about his
Hello,
syphilis.
motherfucker.
Talk about how he's got syphilis and all that shit.
He's another one we got to get back on here soon.
Yeah, we're going through chic withdrawal.
Sheik and our race relations correspondent Corey.
Yeah, 100%.
It is summertime. We should get.
Oh yeah.
It is summertime coming. We should get him to come on and do a segment about barbecue etiquette.
I think he would be okay with that.
If you end up getting Sheiky back on, if you can remind yourself, ask him about the McDonald's incident in Altoona, PA.
Oh, God.
He'll laugh his ass off for about a half hour.
Yeah, we're going to have to make that happen now.
I don't have any like shitty customers to use as my normal go-to for a "fuck you guy of the week." My closing ratio is fucking insane. Like everybody's buying cars right now. I guess my "fuck you guy" is going to be whoever put together the top 10 rankings. For every other Wednesday, we have a bi-weekly sales meeting. So it's every salesperson, every sales manager, everybody in the entire company, which is now 11 stores. We just bought another store last week, and they do like a top 10. And it's not always just on numbers, like who sold the most cars. They use a bunch of different stuff. But I wasn't on the list at all. The guy who got number 1, who I really like, is actually my general manager's cousin. He's doing a great job, but he has sold 20 less cars than me in a rolling 30 days. So I feel like I should have been at least on the list. But my GM said he got tired of having to say. He said he got tired of having to say nice things about me, so he didn't even submit me this week.
You know what? That's fair. Just fuck your face.
Fuck my face. I've sold 53 cars in the last 30 days.
Look at you slanging that dick.
Just swinging it around.
Hey, it's Bill at Coast Automall in Akron. I bought my car here, and you should too. Check it out. Boom, remote start. Is that what you're looking for? I got it all. You need a truck? I got you. Looking for an SUV? How about a luxury car? I'm telling you, I got you. Who needs an Indy when you've got an Audi? 1875 Britton Road. Come on in and ask for Bill. I'll be waiting for you.
I hate that you use that any Audi line. I want to punch you for that.
I'll allow it. But yeah, whoever put together that list, that's my fuck you guy of the week. Wayne, you got somebody who's your fuck you guy of the week?
Well, when I was working for ADT, I had a guy there was a place called Bracknell Place. It was in Bracknell, and he was calling me a racist. And I told him this line. I said, I'd be like Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry wasn't a racist. He hated everybody.
Jared Hawkins says, can we put a horror music movie soundtrack over Bill's commercial there?
You should have a guy. You should have a guy running into a car.
We want to do a spot where we have like a ladder and dive off the ladder. Like, look, no debt. To like promote our paintless debt repair.
It's too bad It's too bad there's no security footage of you getting T-boned, so you can walk out and go, "I got cars for you." as you got a bloody lip and everything.
Hey, I didn't sell him that Equinox, but I sold him another one.
You got to get some of those protesters that were jumping up and down off the roofs of the cars.
Right.
But we want to thank you guys for hopping on. Hope you guys had fun. We'll try to get you on some other time as well. Yeah. Remember, we still got window decals, $5 plus shipping. Got coffee mugs too if you guys want those. But we want to thank Mike Lightning and Wayne Palmer for hopping on here tonight. Hope you guys had fun. So
it's fun talking wrestling with anybody, because that's one of the things that really isn't racist in this country.
Which is weird. Like, wrestling locker rooms, for the most part, are the most accepting areas, but our fans are some of the.
I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit going on. You know.
Right.
Wayne Palmer is sick and tired of the bullshit. That's a T-shirt.
All right, boys. We're gonna get out of here.
See you next week.
I'm Uncle Traz.
Bruiser.
The one night banana stand, Bill Rose.
Peace.
Mikey and Wayne, thank you for coming on. Rob. I was just going to say, copy what the other network does and play us out.
All right.
Like a dog will get on your leg and like hump on your leg like to jack itself off. Over the line!
Wrestling Universe. Welcome to 412 Brewery. I am your host, Happy Hour. So one thing I'd love to talk about today, Intergender Bonanza 8, April 24th at the H2O Wrestling Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. So it's going to be the hero of the barroom, Happy Hour, and the king of smokes, Frankie Picard, against the full-time boss, Christian Ross, and Chris Bradley. So to borrow from some published research by Professor Scott Steiner, I'm going to examine this mathematically. So you start with 50% odds in any match. However, I'm a hero and Frankie is a king, so that already gives us an advantage just from titles alone. The odds increase to 75%. So now, if you include pre-match power-ups, I have a beer, Frankie has a smoke, you've got to add another 12.5% to the odds, so we're up to 87.5%. Here's an additional detail that a lot of people don't think about. What if Frankie also has a beer and I also have a smoke? That's a double power-up. Now also consider that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So you have to add, in addition to that extra 12.5%, add a bonus 5%, because again, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So according to Professor Steiner's formula, that gives me and Frankie a 105% chance of success at Intergender Bonanza 8. So folks, the bottom line is that we have a proven mathematical formula for a good time. Cheers.